are very fortunate to have Her Grace Kalasudha Mataji to enlighten us on topics Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Madhya Lila, 25th chapter 126 verse onwards. Hare Krishna Kalasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning. Please take over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We thank you all for this opportunity. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 25, entitled The Residents of Varanasi Become Vaishnavas. Reading from text 126 through 130. Text 126. Yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu cha vashishu anu pravishtani aprivashtani tathateshu nateshvaham. Translation. As the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings and yet remain outside them all, I exist within all material creations and yet am not within them. Text 127. A highly elevated devotee can bind me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his heart by love. Wherever he looks, he sees me and nothing else. Text 128. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who destroys everything inauspicious for his devotees, does not leave the hearts of his devotees even if they remember him and chant about him inattentively. This is because the rope of love always binds the Lord within the devotees' hearts. Such devotees should be accepted as most elevated. Text 129. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. Text 130. All the gopis assembled to chant the transcendental qualities of Krishna very loudly, and they began to wander from one forest to another like mad women. They began to inquire about the Lord, who is situated in all living entities, internally and externally. Indeed, they even asked all the plants and vegetables about him, the Supreme Person. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Very beautiful verses here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting what Krishna is talking to Lord Brahma. Very beautiful verses Mahaprabhu is quoting here. The first one that we read, text 226, that is actually the third verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam from the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is a very, very important verse. The Chatushloki Bhagavatam are very, very, very beautiful and very insightful. And they can be interpreted in so many different ways, sometimes misinterpreted in many, many different ways. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us what our understanding of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam is. And this particular verse is talking about the third verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, where it is so clearly explained that as the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings, and yet they remain outside them all, Krishna exists within all material creations and yet not within them. This is just like saying, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to this particular verse. Srila Prabhupada says that please see explanation in the Adi Lila of chapter 1, text 55. So there Prabhupada has given a very beautiful purport to this understanding. Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy. He says that when the material, Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example in this particular purport. Srila Prabhupada says that although we see that the sky is existing, in space, we see the sky existing when we look outside our windows, we see the sky. However, the sky also enters within the material body also. So just because the material body has the sky doesn't mean that the sky is not existing outside, or because the sky is existing outside doesn't mean that it's not within our body. Both of them are simultaneously inclusive. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, who is the cause of the material energy, he lives within the material world as well as beyond it. So we need to understand that without the presence of the Supreme Lord in this material world, this cosmic body just cannot develop. Just like within the physical body, if there's no presence of the soul, the body is lifeless. So the material, the entire cosmic manifestation, it develops and exists because the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters it as Paramatma, or the Super Soul. So this is how we need to understand when we are understanding this particular verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Here Krishna is again quoting, Mahaprabhu is quoting what Krishna is telling to Lord Brahma. That we need to understand that the personality of Godhead does not lose his individuality. And Srila Prabhupada explains it here that the existence of the Supreme Lord can be understood by a person who has a single quality of submissiveness. Only by the quality of submissive, if we are submissive, only then we'll be able to even comprehend the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus we become surrendered souls. So the first qualification that we need is to be submissive. To accept, like when we go to the school, how do we start learning? If we think that we know better than the teacher, whatever they may be saying, will not enter our heart because we feel that we know better than the teacher. So whatever the teacher may say, we will not even listen to it. We will not even accept it because we feel that we know better. But if the student is submissive, then whatever the teacher is saying, it directly enters the heart. It makes space in the heart. It makes space in our intelligence takes over that yes, we are accepting that we do not know and our teacher knows and they're here to educate us. We understand that as a fact. So similarly, when we are approaching spiritual authorities, when we approach senior devotees, when we approach our Guru Vargas, when we approach the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, all these revealed scriptures, we have to inquire submissively. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. That it's no problem if you want to question. But the questioning to any authority, we can question any authority, be it spiritual or mundane. There is no problem with that whatsoever. We have to question. If we want to learn something, we must question. But the questioning should not be in the mood of challenging. The questioning should be so that we can get our doubts clarified, so that we can learn. That should be the mood of our questioning. Arjuna, he's the perfect student of the Bhagavad Gita. Parikshit Maharaj, he is the perfect student of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Both of these beautiful literatures They are all in the form of question and answers. They're all question and answer. So, how can we call these if we are not able to question the authority? We feel that, oh, Krishna is there in our heart, they should know everything. Whatever we are thinking, Krishna should know. That's not how things work. Yes, Krishna does know, but Krishna also likes it when we put our thoughts into words and inquire submissively. It's our ego sometimes that comes into play when we think that, oh, whatever we are feeling in our heart, the Lord should know, or, our gurus should know, they should reciprocate with us. Otherwise, we are not going to say. That's an ego. That is not a very good trait of a disciple. Even though Krishna knows everything, why do we pray to him? Why? Why are we praying to Krishna every single day? We are praying to our gurus every single day. We are praying to devotees every single day. Every single moment we are praying to them because it increases the submissive attitude. It increases our humility and it deflates our pride. That is the importance of prayers. That is the importance of submissiveness. So we really need to know how to be properly submissive so that the spiritual knowledge can be passed down from spiritual master to the disciple, from spiritual master to the disciple, in the form of perfect questions and perfect answers. So when we are inquiring from the spiritual master, when we are inquiring from senior devotees, inquire, ask questions. But when we ask questions, let it not be in the mood of challenging their authority, but rather for us to understand it. That should be the difference in our mood. Then that is submissive. So tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. By such submissive oral reception and by submissively serving the senior Vaishnavas, submissively serving Guru and Krishna, then the self-realized soul become pleased with such service attitude. And they immediately they impart their spiritual knowledge unto us by seeing that sincere effort within us. Otherwise, there's no way that we can make spiritual advancement. No way. It's a very difficult process. So that's why here in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada, he's explaining this verse, that what it actually means. That the Supreme Lord, the material, what Krishna's statement here is that he is existing within all material creations and yet not within them. What does it actually mean? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is saying that yes, I am present in each and every one, but I'm not attached to each and every one in that sense of the word. He's not bound just by this. He is Swarat. He is supremely independent. He is existing simultaneously within and without. And in the second paragraph of this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada is very beautifully explaining that what is the result of someone who is submissively trying to become a surrendered soul of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A surrendered soul feels the presence of his beloved everywhere. And all of his senses are engaged in the loving service of the Lord. So the self-realized soul, the surrendered soul, actually feels the presence of the Lord both within and without.
Got it.
So how does the surrendered soul feel like that? How does he realize that? His eyes, the surrendered soul's eyes, are always envisioning the beautiful couple, Shri Radha Krishna, sitting on a beautifully bedecked, jeweled throne beneath a kadamba tree in the transcendental land of Vrindavan. The nostrils are engaged in smelling the spiritual, the tulasi leaves that have been offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. Ears are engaged in hearing from the pure devotees. And hands and their bodies are engaged in serving the lotus feet of the devotees, in embracing the transcendental bodies of the devotees. So in this way, the pure devotee, to the pure devotee, the Lord manifests himself both internally and externally. So that is explained here in text 127. It is explained that a highly elevated devotee can bind me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his heart by love. Wherever he looks, he sees me and nothing else. Very powerful statement here by Krishna. Very powerful statement. How Krishna is so confidently saying this, that these few verses that we read, we are seeing that there is no iota of doubt in the statements given by Krishna. There's no iota of doubt. There's no, you know, nothing of that sort is there. Krishna is very direct, that he's saying that a highly elevated devotee can bind me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his heart by love. No doubt about it. A devotee can bind Krishna in his heart by love. Mother Jashoda, we are all trying to follow the footsteps of Mother Jashoda, who bound Krishna, not with the rope of, with a mere rope, a mundane rope, but with the rope of her own love for Krishna. She bound baby Krishna. And every year, whenever we are doing parikrama of the Holy Land, of the Dham, when we are doing parikrama of the Dham, it is said by the rendering of this Pada Sevanam, we are actually binding the Lord with every step that we take. We are binding the Lord in our heart, following in the footsteps of Mother Jashoda. That is the internal absorption of a devotee when they perform parikrama. It could be a simple parikrama of even Tulasi Devi that we do every day. When we do Tulasi parikrama, we should be feeling that, Tulasi Maharani is a pure devotee of the Lord, extremely dear to Krishna. So when we are circumambulating Tulasi Maharani, with every step, we are actually binding Krishna with our love in our heart. With that mood, we should do parikrama. By the mercy of Tulasi Maharani, we are binding Krishna in our heart. That is the mood of parikrama. So Krishna is saying here that wherever he looks, he sees me and nothing else. The pure devotee sees me and nothing else. Sarvatra hoitar ishtadev spurati. That wherever the pure devotee looks, they can only see their Ishta, their beloved worshipable Lord. That's who the pure devotee sees. So, moving on to text 128, a very, very beautiful commitment by Lord Hari. This verse, whenever I read this particular verse, it always brings tears to my eyes, that how merciful is Krishna. Whenever we think of Krishna and when we are chanting the holy names, we feel that, Krishna is giving us so many tests. Why is Krishna doing this? Why is Krishna doing that? Why is he putting us into so many difficulties? But then whenever we try to remember this particular verse, it should put all of our doubts, it should evaporate. Because this is the greatest promise of Krishna, as told by Krishna himself to Lord Brahma. He's saying here, Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who destroys everything inauspicious for his devotees, does not leave the hearts of his devotees, even if they remember him and chant about him inattentively. Can we imagine the kind of mercy Krishna is pouring down upon us? Yes, our aspiration is to do attentive chanting. But even if we are not able to do it, Because we cannot say that all of our 20 rounds or 25 rounds or 16 rounds that we are doing every day, that it is all of the the mahamantras that we are speaking, each and every one of them are attentive. At least I cannot claim that. Some rounds are definitely attentive, but some rounds are definitely not. Definitely not. But for us, we are not hopeless cases. This is the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is saying that he never leaves the hearts of such devotees who even inattentively are remembering him. How much mercy if they remember him and chant about him inattentively. This is because the rope of love always binds the Lord within the devotees' hearts. Such devotees should be accepted as most elevated. Well, this is how Krishna is seeing his devotees. But if we take this for granted, and if we say, oh, well, Krishna has said that even if we do inattentive chanting, he will never leave us. If we have this attitude, then to test our and to get us back to be resolved again, Krishna might definitely play tricks with us. So let's not get to the point where we are taking this statement of Krishna's and misusing it. We should not do that. We should try our best to be as attentive as possible. We must try to do that. Because that's the sincerity that Krishna is seeing. When a baby is learning how to walk, the baby falls down 1,000 times. But the baby gets up and tries to walk again. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, when we are practicing spiritual life, we will fall down 1,000 times. But Srila Prabhupada said that please get up 1,000 times. Krishna is not going to see how many times you are falling down, but Krishna is really going to see how many times you are sincerely trying to get up. And Krishna helps with that. Always let us remember that Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. That he reciprocates with us based on the mood that we have. If our mood is that we want to take Krishna lightly, trust me, Krishna will also start taking us lightly. But when we are really trying, submissively, sincerely, when we are trying to serve and please Krishna, then Krishna definitely reciprocates. And to such sincere souls, this is the verse that applies to them. Not for those who take advantage of this verse and say, okay, it's okay to be inattentive. Krishna will not leave. Mother Urmila, recently we were having a talk with her, and she said that Krishna, when he would be ready to leave, back from the forest, he would want to come back to Vrindavan. Then Krishna would stand on a little hillock and he would start shouting names of the cows. Shamali, Dhamali, Kali, Lali, all come, all come. Then those cows who would come immediately by the calling of Krishna, they would come. But then for some of them who would be really attached to even now nibbling on some nice juicy grass of the land of Vrindavan, for them Krishna would have to raise the stick also. Shamali, let's go home now. You come back tomorrow and you can then nibble on the the grass, juicy grass tomorrow again. But now it's time to go home, Shamali, let's go. So then Krishna has to pick up the stick for such cows too. Similarly, sometimes Krishna, even for his devotees, he gives us many warnings. My dear devotees, be careful. Maya is very strong. Don't get complacent in your life. Always be, the spiritual life is like walking on the sharp edge of a razor. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Krishna is always warning. Intelligent are devotees who immediately take this warning of Krishna and immediately come on the right path. They always choose to do that. But there may be some of us who are still obstinately trying to nibble on the juicy grass. And for us, then Krishna would sometimes have to pick up the stick. to get us back on the path. So let us not wait for Krishna to teach us the hard way. Because Krishna will, that's how merciful Krishna is. That once, if we take the name of Krishna sincerely, even if we want to forget him, Krishna will never forget us. So let us not give an opportunity to Krishna to teach us the hard way. Let us try to be submissive enough to Krishna's words, to his voice, to his service, out of our own choice. Let us see the warning signs and let us submissively try to follow. That way, Krishna will be less troubled. He doesn't have to come chasing behind us with a stick, nor do we have to go through any trouble. So, this is the most important point of this particular verse, text 128. One of my most favorite verses is this, that how Krishna is always, Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj, he told us a few days ago when we were speaking to him, he said, we were saying that, the situations sometimes are so hopeless. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he just commented saying that in hopelessness, you will find the greatest hope. Such powerful statement, that in hopelessness we find the greatest hope. That is our shelter. These kind of hopeless situations, when we really know that we have nothing to do, we really cannot do anything other than just helplessly, hopelessly seeking shelter of Krishna. And that's the real meaning of seeking shelter, giving up everything and just trying to seek shelter of Krishna and his pure devotees. So in hopelessness, we will find the greatest of hope. Words of our Guru Varga, so powerful. And that gives us how we can actually seek shelter of the Supreme Lord. Text 129, a person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. There's not an iota of doubt in the mind of a devotee. This statement that they see everything in connection to Krishna. In this regard, a very beautiful story comes to mind. There was once a devotee, an aspiring devotee, who was traveling on a ship, and somehow or the other the ship sank, was sinking. And then everybody on board was drowning. And then this person, he didn't know how to swim. So some of the people who were on board, his co-passengers, they just pushed a plank of wood, to this person. And they said, hold on to this. You will, be saved. So then the man said, no, 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 no. I have full faith in my Lord. My Lord will come and protect me. They said, okay. Then everyone else, got saved. And then there was another ship which was nearby. They came and they said, okay, they were throwing down ropes for everyone. And this guy is struggling. How long can you stay afloat in the ocean? So this person was struggling and they said, hold on to the rope. We'll bring you aboard. Said, no, I don't want any rope. My God will come and he will protect me. The Lord has told, Caitanya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashati. I am a firm believer of that my Lord will come and protect me. I don't want your protection. Go from here. Then the ship went away, rescued all the other passengers. Only this one person was left behind. Then the helicopters came. The swimmers, came aboard. The swimmers came down into the ocean to rescue this person. I said, come, let's go. Just hold on to us. They gave him a flotation device. He threw the flotation device. Said, I don't want anything. My Lord will come. And the swimmers just couldn't bring him out of the water. He was so adamant. that no, my Lord will come to protect me. I don't want you guys. And then ultimately, this man just drowned and died. And when he was brought in front of the Lord, because of course he died remembering Krishna, so he came in front of the Lord and he said, Krishna, I have one small doubt. I had so much faith that you will come. You said that you will come to rescue me. Then why you didn't come? Why you let me die, Krishna? Why you didn't come to protect me? And Krishna said, who told you I didn't come? I came. First time I came as the wood. I inspired the Paramatma in the heart of that co-passenger of yours. I asked him to just, push a log of, wood to you so that you can float on it. And you said, no, 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 I don't want. Then I sent the ship for you. You didn't want to take the rope from the ship. Then after that, I sent swimmers down from the helicopter for you. Even that you didn't want to take. How much more do you want me to do? I sent 3 ways to protect you, to save you. You didn't take that. So that should not be the way we should reciprocate with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, he taught us how to reciprocate with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, whenever he would meet his disciples or any new person would come to see Srila Prabhupada would meet with them and say that my Guru Maharaj has sent you to me to help me in this mission so that I can fulfill his instructions that he has given me. So each and every one of you have been sent by my spiritual master. That is the consciousness of a pure devotee. Not of a pseudo devotee who waits that, oh, there will be some big light and the Supreme Personality of Godhead will come directly and lay out his hand and rescue me. No. Are we even qualified to do that? Not really. To receive that kind of reciprocation. But these day-to-day reciprocations that we are getting, in spite of us being in this most, this is one of the most terrifying, the most difficult situations that we have been in a century. All of us in this kind of lockdown, the entire world is in a lockdown. What could be a more worse situation than this? But somehow or the other, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have these beautiful sanghas. We have the online association of devotees, that even though we may be sitting in the luxury of our own homes, in the lockdown, we are still not deprived of devotee association. The other night, I had one devotee who called me all the way from Mayapur and said, oh, I'm really feeling so much, taking prasad with devotees. So we turned on our cameras and, 5, 6 of us took prasad together. Nowadays we're listening katha together, but why not even take prasad together? We won't miss it. And it was really so nice, taking prasad together while talking Krishna Katha. That is the way that we are utilizing our technology in the service of Krishna. That is what is mentioned here, that a person advanced in devotional service sees everything within everything, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is something very, 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 very amazing that we really need to understand. And text 130, what a beautiful conclusion to these few verses that we read. Here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he's quoting about the gopis, the Brajabadhus. He's saying that all the gopis assembled to chant the transcendental qualities of Krishna very loudly. And they began to wander from one forest to another like mad women. They began to inquire about the Lord who is situated in every living entity's hearts, internally and externally. Indeed, they even asked all the plants and vegetables about him, the Supreme Person. How the gopis are remembering Krishna. In the subsequent verses, we all know how the gopis, in their remembrance of Krishna, they started crying in separation from Krishna. They started remembering and crying when Krishna disappeared from the Rasa dance. That was so heartbreaking for the gopis. And they started recollecting all the pastimes, the beautiful nectarian pastimes of Krishna. That when Krishna was with us, what all were we doing? How beautiful was that association with Krishna? So, just thinking about these Leelas, thinking about these beautiful pastimes that they had with Krishna, they were actually associating with Krishna directly. They were able to feel, when they were singing, Madhuraya Gira Valguvakyaya Buddhamanogaya Pushkarikshana Vidhikaririma Viramoyati Adharasidhuna Pyayayasvana. How beautifully the gopis are singing their song of separation from Krishna, remembering these beautiful, intimate pastimes that they had with Krishna. That Krishna, we are remembering your nectarian words, Madhuraya Gira. It would just, melt our hearts whenever you would speak to us so sweetly, O Krishna. And the epitome of that sweetness would be that when you would, chew on your betel leaf, and then chewing that, you would actually give us that your adharamrita, the nectar of your lips, you would share that with us in the form of your chewed betel leaf. The gopis are truly relishing this nectar, such nectar. And when they're thinking and remembering these leelas, they're actually associating with Krishna directly. So even in this kind of situation when we are, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Whenever I say Smaranam, I remember my very dear godbrother, Revati Raman Prabhu. He's such a wonderful personality and such an inspiration to many, many of he's my godbrother, temple president of ISKCON Tirupati. And whenever he talks about, he's a person who's extremely sincere in his sadhana. And every morning he gives a very beautiful, right after Mangalarti, he gives a 5-minute inspirational talk to all the devotees. And in that, he always talks about the importance of hearing, chanting, and remembering. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. So when he says it together, he says Shravanam, Kirtanam, Maranam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Maranam. So, but the purport of it is very sweet, that although he's saying Maranam, but if we don't remember properly, then we are getting Maranam. We are going to die if we don't, we'll be, dying in forgetfulness of Krishna. We should not be in that situation. So we are doing Shravanam, we are doing Kirtanam. And this is the perfect moment and opportunity that we can use this in trying to remember our services that we have been rendering, the services that we will continue to render. Manas Seva. We should remember. We should try to recollect. We should try to remember and try to even remember some of our, let's try to arrange some of our future services too. Krishna accepts it. And we should know that the more we are, making a pathway for our future through the way of our remembrance, through the way of our smarana, we are making a pathway for our future service. Krishna is registering that. And he will definitely reciprocate, fulfilling all of our desires, if Krishna wishes. So let us utilize this opportunity for us to increase our Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. So with this, we will end here. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for beautiful class. Is there anybody having any questions for Mataji? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hello Mataji. Thank you so much for the precious, precious class. I really appreciate your statements about using this time wisely and getting more association. That's actually the thing I'm most grateful for in this whole, in everything that we're going through in the world with this virus, is that I feel like it's a beautiful time for devotees because there's so much more association online and more classes and things like that. So I'm really relishing this time and I'm very grateful for it. So thank you for the class.
Thank you so much, Tiffany Mataji. It's very inspiring to, your enthusiasm and your sincerity inspires us. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Guru Maharaj, thank you for a very, very wonderful class. I really, really like your analogy, how you're speaking about how Krishna doesn't see and Prabhupada doesn't want us to stop getting up. He doesn't see how many times we fall. He just wants us to keep getting up. And I really, really like that analogy. And I think for me, it puts things in perspective because sometimes I get discouraged because I keep falling. But at least I know, just knowing the fact that Krishna's waiting for me to get up is encouragement. It's encouraging for me that, okay, don't think about I fell. Don't meditate on the fall. Meditate on the future, like you said at the end. Yes. What am I going to do now?
Yes.
So I really, really like that.
Thank you, Martha.
Yeah. The other thought I was thinking is when you're telling that story about, Krishna sending somebody, sending different people to help us in times of need. We're thinking Krishna is going to save us. And I don't know, this is being the situation that is happening right now. And sometimes people think that, I'm a devotee and I won't get affected by whatever's going on, this whole virus.
Yes.
And we tend to not listen
yes.
to other authorities about what is a proper position, a proper, what precautions we need to be taking. And how Guru Maharaj is explaining that, yes, we need to continue our devotion, but you need to also follow the precautions that's set out by the government and stuff. Exactly. So I'm thinking in that same way that Krishna is sending people. That is Krishna sending people to tell us how to protect ourselves. Right. And if we think that being devotees, we don't have to follow that, then we are falling into that same situation of drowning in the river, drowning in the ocean, and not realizing that Krishna is sending people and we're not paying attention.
That's true. That's very correct. Very correct. We should, Jayapataka Maharaj is stressing this almost in every class that he's giving every day. He's saying that please take this seriously. Don't think that as devotees we are, impervious to this kind of a attack, that we can still do things and Krishna will still protect. Let's not be that naive. We have to take precautions. So yes, thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dana Pranam of Glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji. Especially, I really like the point you were studying in the hopeless situation you have that, what you were studying, the great things in the world thing. Means even in spiritual life, if there is hopeless, there is something is there, but in material life, I was thinking there is no hope if there is hopeless.
Correct, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also I was, when you were sharing that, I think that drawing man, I also heard from Guru Maharaj lecture that he saying one arrow, the devotee was a wizard and then he was looking for the help and he was praying to the God, please come and help, and he had so much of faith, but
so many helicopters come to rescue him, but he was not willing to listen because he said, "Oh, God will come and help me." That was very nice example hearing from Maharaj Sexaram. So he comes in our life and gives so many nice instructions to fulfill our Guru Maharaj's instruction, but sometimes we don't like to listen. It's very nice, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much for emphasizing these points. I really like the instruction that Srila Prabhupada which you said, that when any new devotee comes, it is like Krishna is sending them.
Yes.
And like my Guru Maharaj is sending. So that if mood is serious, then that, sometimes like at least with me also it happens. Like when new devotees come and some people come and they are not really much interested into it, then you start making offenses in your mind. Like, oh, I'm doing so much of things and these people are not taking it so seriously. Why are they not taking it? So instead of that, if you have this mode, that it is not I who am taking it, it is Krishna who is sending them. Then that total of looking at that thing will totally change, and the tolerance which we need will increase. And that will really help a lot in the process of making new devotees and imparting more Krishna consciousness to them. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice class.
Thank you.
Wonderful reminder.
Thank you so much for the beautiful comment. Thank you. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Koti Koti Dandat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Very next class as usual. It inspires us, Mataji, so much. Mataji, you explain one thing, everything is touched to heart, but one thing, Maranam Kittanam, that Maranam, he is saying, it is for me, that whatever we hear, like we have to see the cow, whatever she eat in the morning time, we can see that in the evening time he is chewing. Chewing means she is not eating anything but chewing. So that we also have whatever we hear from senior Vaishnava, at least again we have to hear it and make it point. That I learn, Mataji, from you. I am sometimes very alsi and not making posts, but I will make a post so that we can share with other Vaishnava. Koti Koti Dandat Pranam, Mataji. If you are not tired, sing whatever you want to like. Please forgive us.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. You are so sweet. You are saying
so
that.
Greedy, Mataji. We are so greedy. We are so bothering you, but.
No, it's never a botheration. It's always a pleasure. In fact, you're saying that you're alsi means lazy. Then there's no other person. Then everyone in this world is worse than alsi, especially me. If you say that you are that, then there's no hope for all of us, Mataji. So we know your sincerity. We know your amazing services that you do. It's also full of sincerity and love. It inspires us. So we'll definitely sing something. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. If there's any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam, Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Very nice examples you give. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shama Gauri Mataji. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll just honor Vrinda Gopi Mataji's sweet request. I'll just sing one verse again from Sri Gopi Geet. Pranata Dehinam Papakarsanam Trinacharanugam Sriniketanam Phanarpitam Te Padambujam Krinokutam चेषुना कृन्धिरेच्छयम् तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। जय श्री गोपी गीत की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Jai. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji, for beautiful class and very nice singing. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very good too.
I love you, Vrinda. You are the best. Your chanting inspires me, Vrinda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Who is this?
Janavi.
Oh, Janavi. Hare Krishna, beta. Very well.
Krishna.
Very well.
Is there anybody else who would like to say anything? Okay, we can end the call here, Mataji. By offer. If somebody is talking, keep listening, Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
No worries, Mataji. I just appreciated it. Thank you so much, Kalapala Mataji, for your beautiful class and beautiful singing and such a wonderful analogy that you mentioned in the class. So, altogether, it was a wonderful class. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji, so we can end the call here if there is no more questions.
Sure.
By offering obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha putitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Har Grace Kala Sudha Mataji ki jai. Thank you so much,
Ananta
Mataji.
Koti
Hare
Vaishnavavrinda
Krishna.
ki jai. Thank you so much, Gandharvika. Hare Krishna.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.